Hi, I'm Siobhan Murphy, CPA with Thrive Business Group. It is January 2020, and we're receiving a lot of questions about the new W-4 form for 2020. So I thought I'd shoot this quick video and give you a little bit of a tour of this new form because it's long and it looks super complicated, and it actually is pretty complicated, and give you some education about how to use it so you can get the result that you need on your tax return. First of all, please note this is general information. This is intended to give you an overview of how the form works so that you have more information and can fill it out for yourself. You may have some specific situations that impact your tax return that I don't talk about. If that's the case, make sure that you consult with your tax advisor. Second, it's important to know how this form was designed. The IRS designed this form so that when you file your tax return, you get a zero, meaning no taxes due and no tax refund. That's their goal. Unfortunately, that's not every taxpayer's goal. Some people want a refund. Some people want to show a balance due. And even more importantly, in order to get that zero, even if you do want it, you have to provide additional financial information to your employer that you may want to keep confidential. So I'm going to give you an overview of how the form works in hopes of giving you a bit more information of how to get the result you want and protect your privacy around your financial information. First of all, you want to have the form in front of you. So if you haven't downloaded it yet, please do so. There's a link here with the video. You can download the form from the IRS website and follow along. Okay, let's get started. So this form has 5 steps. First thing to know is steps 1 and 5 are critical. They're required. You have to fill out those 2 forms in order for this form to be used by your employer. If you miss something in steps 1 or 5, your employer can't use the form. So let's go through the steps. Step 1 is your basic information: name, address, social security number, and then you choose whether you're filing single, married, joint, or head of household. All of that's pretty simple. Now, some people, that's all you need to do. Then you skip down to step 5, sign and date, and submit to your employer. But let's go through the other steps and find out if you want to use them or not. So first of all, let's talk about step 2. Step 2 has 3 parts, A, B, and C. A instructs you to go to the IRS website and use their estimator tool, where you provide the financial information about your tax return, and they will spit out information to you of how to fill out this form to get a zero on your tax return. Now, that said, it's not the easiest tool to use and it's not the most accurate. So my advice to our clients has not been to use that estimating tool. You, of course, can give it a try if you want. Now, B instructs you to use the attached worksheet in the instructions with the W-4. This also I've found to be super confusing for people to try to find their way through, and also not super accurate. So again, I'm not really recommending that people use that strategy. Now, C in step 2 is really critical. If you are married and you and your spouse both work jobs and receive paychecks and get a W-2, then you need to mark the box in C. If you do not mark the box here in step 2C, you will not have enough withholding. This is the problem we ran into in 2018 when the tax tables were first changed. The tax tables were changed so that married couples who are filing jointly, both working, did not have enough withholding. We had a lot of surprise balances on tax returns as well as shrinking refunds. So to avoid that, if you're married, you and your spouse both work jobs, make sure you mark the box in step 2 and C. Okay, so those are the most important pieces of this form. Steps 3 and 4 are optional. And I'm going to explain how they work in case you do want to use them. So step 3, if you want to decrease the amount of withholding on your paycheck because you're going to have dependents on your tax return, you're going to get a tax credit, a child tax credit or other dependent tax credit, then go ahead and fill out step 3. This is going to add a calculation to your withholding to basically prepay that tax credit to you through having less withholding on your paycheck. Now, if you're going to do this step, make sure that that child you think you're going to claim on your tax return really, truly will be your dependent. If there's any question about it, don't fill this step out. Also, be sure you're using the correct amount. The $2,000 child tax credit is only good for kids through age 16. Once they hit age 17, they're in the second category of the other dependents, and the tax credit's only $500. Now, if you want to skip all of that and just err on the side of caution, make sure you have enough withholding and you're okay with having a refund on your tax return, then skip step 2 completely. Okay, step 3. Sorry, that was step 3. Step 4. Step 4 is to designed to allow you to provide additional financial information about your tax return to help tailor the withholding on your paycheck. So if you have other types of income on your tax return, investment income, rental income, business income, and so forth, and if you want withholding on this paycheck to cover that income, then that's what step 4, part A, is all about. So you put in a dollar amount, which is your estimated annual income from other sources. So if you want to provide that financial information to your employer, you can enter that. They'll put it into their payroll system and you'll have more withholding on your paycheck. Now, part B is the opposite. If you have lots of deductions on your tax return, if you're itemizing deductions and you're well over the standard deduction threshold, or if you have several other types of deductions on your tax return, again, you can tally these up, put the annual dollar amount of those deductions above and beyond the standard deduction. You can put that dollar amount in part B. What that will do is it will reduce your withholding in an attempt to adjust for those deductions. Again, if you want to err on the side of caution, skip it. And then finally, part C. And this, I think, is an important piece for step 4. If you want to have more withholding for any reason, because you know you have other income but don't want to provide that information as it requests in step A, or you want to err on the side of caution and just make sure you have lots of withholding, or you really bank on having a refund, then you can use C in step 4. Now, this is a dollar amount that will be a withholding on each paycheck. So this is not how much extra you want withheld for the year. This is per paycheck. So if you want that extra withholding, go ahead and figure out how much you want per paycheck and enter it here. Again, if you don't want to mess with it, skip it. Steps 3 and 4 are optional. Then finally, we're in step 5. You need to sign and date the form and you're ready to submit it. So again, I hope this has been useful to give you a bit of an overview of how this new, complicated, and very long form has been designed, how to use it, how to crack the code a little bit. And again, if this is too general for you and you need more detailed information for your circumstances, then make sure that you talk with your tax advisor. All right, I hope that's helpful. That's all for now.